the pole and barn thought experiment. In the pole and barn thought experiment, you have a pole of a certain length. In this case, it's represented by these lines in this space-time globe. So this is time going up and down and x going left and right. So the pole exists in time at the same x and y location from this frame of reference, the red frame of reference, or the pole's frame of reference. And additionally, the pole is changing color every half second. The length of the pole is 2 light seconds long. So that'll be about here to the moon. Additionally, the barn is represented by these black lines, and the barn is moving in a negative half the speed of light relative to the pole, or the pole is moving positive half the speed of light relative to the barn. And what you'll notice is that the pole does not fit in the barn. The pole is longer than the space between the barn from the pole's perspective. So in order for the pole to pass through the barn, both doors have to be open at the same time from the pole's perspective. Now, again, just to reiterate, the pole is changing color. So this should be a solid block, but these lines just represent color changes. So the pole starts out red, or some color, and that changes to red, then changes to blue, changes to purple, changes to black, changes to green. And this would be the entire pole changes at one time, like a whole bunch of LEDs just changing color. Now, if we go look from the barn's perspective, this is on the space-time globe. We see that, and then let's see the pole from in the barn's perspective. The pole no longer exists at the same moment in time, which is kind of an odd concept, but that's the reality of it. That's what happens. From this perspective, the pole, the end of the pole, when it's green, exists sometime in the future, than when the front of the pole is green. So we're going to now look at the pole at when it's in existence simultaneously at the same moment from the frame of reference of the barn. And you can see the first thing you notice is now the pole has shrunk and now it fits inside the barn. So now from this frame of reference, the front and the back door of the barn can be closed and the pole can be contained inside it. But that's a well-known hypothetical, and you can look that up and read about it in many places. What's interesting about this one is you see now that the pole when it's in existence in this frame of reference crosses over light-changing boundaries. So from the perspective of the barn, the pole will be striped. It'll be purple in a part, and then blue in a part, and then slightly, I think, red in a part. And so it'll be striped, and those stripes will be moving across the pole over time and changing color, since it's more than 2 or 3 colors. So the composition of the pole will be made up of different time elements of the poles when it's, the composition of the pole from the pole's frame of reference. And I think this is a really interesting way to understand what's causing the time contraction, the length contraction. It's simply that the back of the pole is now an earlier time than the front of the pole relative to the pole's frame of reference. So the earlier time is closer, or the front is earlier in this case, actually, because it's coming at you. So the front is now closer than the back, and this is this gradual. That's a gradual across the entire pole, making it appear or actually become shorter. but it's composed of different parts of the pole at different times in order to perform the contraction. And I think that's a very important thing to understand when you're trying to learn about length contraction. That's it.